What's up, everybody? I'm Rory, and this is my review of Attack on Titan Season 3, Episode 1. I am so excited that Season 3 of Attack on Titan is happening. This season is going to be so good. So good, so good. I am a manga reader, by the way, so these reviews will be from the perspective of a manga reader, but I'll keep them spoiler-free. So anime-only people, you don't have to worry. So, I saw that first episode of Season 3. Oh man. I won't go through everything that happened. I'll just kind of highlight some of the things that stuck out to me. I think that works better for a review. One of the things that most surprised me is the opening scene with Eren at the ocean. It's an older looking Eren. He's at the ocean and he says something like, past the wall, this is the ocean, so Armin said, but I always wondered what's beyond the ocean. It really surprised me that they started off with this scene. A manga reader to know what this scene means. And it's pretty much confirmation that we're getting 2 arcs this season. So I am so excited. So excited. Another thing that surprised me was how they're editing this season compared to the manga. How they're sort of taking bits and pieces from a bunch of different chapters and compiling them together. Because in this first episode, we get little bits and pieces from like 7 different chapters of the manga. I think it actually works really well. It really sets up all the main points that are going to be developed later in the season, or later in the first half of the season at least. It sort of sets up Historia's character development going forward. She's feeling sort of lost without Ymir. She doesn't know what she wants to do. She doesn't know what her goals are. It sets up the political strife that is going to be happening this season with the military police versus the Survey Corps. The military police or the government in general, are telling them to hand over Eren and Historia, and they're actually hunting them down now. It sets up Kenny, who is going to be sort of the main antagonist, but you'll see later. He's an interesting character. But I was surprised about how much they spliced all this together, and it worked really well, I thought. Let's just talk a little bit about how they spliced this together. Non-spoilers, of course. So there's a scene where Armin and John pretend to be Eren and Historia, and they get captured on purpose so that they can hunt down their captors. And, Mikasa comes in, beats them all up. Sasha helps a little bit with the bow. Jean and Armin tie the people that captured them up. And while all that's happening, Levi's out on the rooftop, and he's talking to Nifa, and he's telling her about Kenny the Ripper, because he suspects that Kenny is a part of all of this somehow. And that's when Kenny comes in and blows off their faces, and Levi has a showdown next episode. But originally, those 2 scenes, the warehouse scene and the scene where Levi faces off with Kenny, those are 2 totally separate scenes in the manga. They happen like 5 chapters apart from each other. And it's interesting that they sort of splice them together, because when I was reading it, I always kind of sort of got those scenes confused anyway. Because they're kind of similar. They both happen in the same-ish city, I think. Yeah, they both happen in Trost. They both involve Levi on the roof. So it kind of makes sense that they sort of put these scenes together, and it makes sense for the anime, because it really starts the action, because if if they followed the manga panel for panel, like they've pretty much been doing for the first 2 seasons, we wouldn't get a lot of action until episode 5. And that's where episode 5 or 6 maybe is where I was guessing that this Kenny and Levi fight would take place. But no, it's actually going to be episode 2, it looks like. So yeah, I think it's a good thing that they did that. Now they skipped a bunch of stuff in between the warehouse scene and the Kenny and Levi thing, but a lot of that stuff is really important. And Isayama is involved in these cuts and these rearrangements. So I'm 100% positive that they're gonna reintroduce the stuff they skipped later. They're just rearranging stuff for the sake of the pace of the anime. Other parts that stuck out to me, besides the ending is like, the ending gets you pumped for the rest of the season. But besides that, let's see what else stuck out to me. I mean, the animation is good, like always. The scene where they're training they're testing out Aaron's abilities, that was a really short in the anime compared to the manga. They skip right to his third transformation where he's sort of fucked up and his body is sticking out of the nape. So I'm wondering if they're going to go back and explain that a little more in depth, what they were doing and how the results of the experiments turned out. Hanji's visit with the military police, that was interesting, because the way they drew the members of the inner military police, like Sanis, that's his name. I don't know if they introduced his name in the episode, but the military police guy she was talking to, his name is Sanis, and the way they animated him and drew him and like the way they were voicing him and the way his movements were, it was really creepy. Like somehow that really stuck out to me as being like super creepy, and it was great. It was really unsettling, which I'm pretty sure that's what they were going for. But this is definitely not something we've seen from the military police yet. Usually in the show, when they've shown the military police, they've been portrayed as kind of a bunch of like incompetent fools. But these guys are really up to something. And well, we'll see later. I like Kenny's voice actor so far. This is the first time we're hearing him besides the trailer. We'll see a lot more of him next episode. I'm excited for that. I thought it was funny, that little, when he attaches to the wall and flies up over to Levi, that little Yahoo he does. It really fits his character. He's insane. He's fucking insane. It'll be great seeing his development. But anyway, to summarize it all, I think this first episode set everything up really good. It hit all the right plot points that we're going to be focusing on moving forward, at least for the first half of the season. Yeah, I think that's about it. Oh, one more thing I remembered. When Aaron told Historia that she was normal and he liked her better, he put on this really like weird, creepy, fake ass smile. Like, I was like, when I saw that, I was like, what the fuck? I had to go back and look at the manga to see, but it's drawn like that in the manga too. That panel where he tells Historia she's normal, that face, that creepy, weird face is like in the manga too. So they actually animated that pretty accurately, which is fucking weird. Anyway, so that's it for my Season 3 Episode 1 review. I'll definitely keep doing these. Episode 2 is next week. I'm so excited. I'll see you guys then.